From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening here on Evenings LA as we go into the final hours of your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. In this recording, incredible great news as the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. And then we cut to the recon. Done deal, $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people. The biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this country. We'll go over all the incredible great news that you'll be ready to pounce as a purple hawk. Then we go into the final 15 minutes of this video as big sums of money are coming to the shore. Biggest payouts we've ever seen, and we'll go over all the deliciousness that you can get across the board as well. It's a big night, it's a big exciting day. A lot is happening, and there's a lot of breaking news. Stay to the final 15 minutes as we go on shore, starting right here, right now, on a big Evenings LA, starting direct from Santa Monica. It's a big evening of Evenings LA as your fourth stimulus check update 2021 heats up. The Democrats want to get that money out the door, and it's a $3.5 trillion payout, the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. In this recording, we'll go over all that incredible sums of money. We'll go over the fourth stimulus recon, why $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people. Then we'll be cutting to the details of the monthly stimulus checks and the push underway to still get them out the door. We'll be going over all the sums of money that Purple Hawks can ready to pounce. And then in the final 15 minutes of this video, a lot of breaking news direct from Santa Monica on a big night of Evenings LA. And thank you for joining me, starting right here, right now. And this is LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto. Hit that button. I want you part of this incredible family across the board. Then we go into Sirloin at 8 o'clock and more tonight. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. If you haven't heard, the YouTube alert system has been down since Wednesday. So here's our programming schedule for the rest of the evening. You're currently watching Evenings LA. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto. This video will take you right into there. Then in 2 hours from now is Street and Stimulus. You'll have to grab that video on YouTube at LALATE, or we'll also be tweeting it out on the LA Twitter account and also the Facebook account. Then at 8 o'clock is Sirloin. Then at 9 o'clock is Overnight's LA, and then 11:30 is Purple. I'll see you tomorrow morning as well as I return at 3 a.m. with Overnights, then Street and Stimulus, early mornings LA, and then we go into mornings LA. Let's get to the details of that monthly stimulus check. House versus Senate, Senate versus House. Let's go over all the details you need to know. More Democrats are coming out and saying, hey, we need stimulus checks. What are you doing there? So let's go over who's saying what and when they're saying it. Senate, Warren, Sanders, and Wyden saying a monthly stimulus check, they need to be included. In a letter to the President of the United States, they urge the President of the importance of a monthly stimulus check. They do not mention the amount. Then AOC and Omar writing the President of the United States saying there needs to be a monthly stimulus check. They do not say the amount, but ask for they do say the amount, but they do not say how many months, but do say it should be monthly and $2,000. House Ways and Means also writing the president a letter saying a fourth stimulus check should be monthly, and we also need a fifth stimulus check next year. They do not state the amount, and the fifth one they do not say if it's reoccurring or not. The American petition, with nearly 3 million signatures, is demanding a monthly stimulus check from Americans at $2,000 a pop, and certainly the biggest one across the board is the House bill, $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000, and those House members want that stimulus check to be pandemic plus 1 year. Well, if you saw the breaking news on Friday, Ross Department Stores, which had massive earnings earlier this year, is revising that Q3, their earnings will plummet. And they're recommending a downgrade. They're recommending an advisory of a 60-cent share earnings in third quarter. This is after Wall Street expected over $1, or nearly double that amount. They're saying Delta will be the culprit. And with that, that's likely to signal that pandemic is not over. And that House bill pays pandemic plus 1 year, which would amount to at least 12 checks, which would be at least $13,000. Compare that to the Senate. I think you have an opinion. Vote House or Senate alike now if you're in the live chat, House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. Who gets this first stimulus check? Democrats represent that you do. If you got a third, you get a fourth. Single individual, $75,000 or less. Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less. Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Family of four, Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Democrats represent you should get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check will be the same amount for everyone, including adult dependents. And the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. So if you do see the check in one of the opening clips of someone carrying a surfboard in this channel, don't wave at the check. It's carrying a surfboard. It may also be wearing a yellow bikini. And there you go. In the second half of this video, we go over the incredible great news about the recon. Done deal. Done deal? Yes, I'll explain to you why it's a done deal, the recon, at $3.5 trillion price tag. And the third part of this video, stay at the very end, those final 15 minutes, a lot happening. I'll go over why you're going to absolutely get a lot of wonderful money under fourth stimulus recon, especially if you're a Purple Hawk. But first, let's get some money. Get a pen and paper ready, because we're going to get some rent, some utilities, some food, or internet. And we've been talking about this for a while, but I'm so excited for you because the Purple Hawks have been pouncing like I have never seen you pounce. We like to pounce, but boy, look at this deliciousness. Bam. $27,000 obtained by Purple Hawks on this channel for rent. $27,000. Elizabeth, congratulations. Mark, $25,000. Nancy, $24,000. Richard, $22,000. And Nisi at $20,000. I've been asking you to send me messages on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at private messaging systems, and send me your success stories. And they're coming on in. And I love that. People getting monies just in the last day. This came in overnight. Sharon getting $2,700 for Snap, and Lainey $13,000 for rent. Great job, both of you. And then the day before, coming in across the board, we had Kathy at 3 items, including $1,300 for rent. Helen getting 3 items, including $4,000 for rent, and Johnny with $12,000 for Snap. And over the last week, just a whole list of massive people sending me their success stories. It just keeps on coming. So send me a private message on social media at LALATE of your success story across the board. We have included among those success stories for people who have gotten utilities. And I like Helen's story. She got 3 utilities. How much are people getting? Bam. Wow. Nancy getting $7,000 for utilities. Mark $6,500 and Angela $5,000. For Snap, the numbers are going through the roof. You're ready for Snap? Let's see it. Oh my goodness, $18,000 for Louie, $10,000 to $12,000 for John. This is annualized, and Nancy $5,000. There's Nancy again. Nancy is in the Triple Crown. Who else is going to get to the Triple Crown? 3 items for this channel. Ready to see the finale? Here's the final round. Oh my goodness, Nancy getting 3 items at $32,000. Nisi 3 items at $23,000, and Mark 2 items at $32,000. 2 items? Mark, that's a graphic for 3 items. What are you doing there? Let me tell you why Mark's on the graphic for 3 items. Mark had gotten 2 items initially at $32,000, and I said, hey, Mark, you didn't get Snap. Why not? Snap is a Snap. That's why they call it Snap. And there's several wonderful things that come from the story. Number 1, Mark heard my recordings, and in less than 5 days, he went out and got Snap. It shows you how quickly, if you're a Purple Hawk and you really persevere, you can get things within just hours, if not days. Number 2, he told his neighbor, watch this kid. He's the real deal. Everyone's watching LA. And the neighbor went from $0 to $20,000 of rent. He got the neighbor in just 2-3 days. So that is just success that you should also replicate. You can do this as well. So how much did Mark get for Snap? You're ready? He got $19,000, bringing his grand total to $50,000 and more. And guess what? That's before the new lift for Snap coming up later in this video. And let's see Lorraine at $105,000. The numbers are coming on in. And this is LA. This is what we've been doing since day one. When I launched this channel, people's EIDL loans and grant applications were stalled. They had applied and they were stuck in a vortex. I call it the 330, the 331, and the 48 vortex. Remember that? If you do, jump in the live chat, say you're an OG viewer. Well, I got their applications approved. Doing 10 applications a day at some point approved, $150,000 a pop, getting $25 million, saving people's businesses, their employees' homes, and their businesses as well. Then in 2020, second stimulus checks were not coming, $600. So I stepped forward and I got people rent, $250,000 of it. Like Tyrone and his family, 4 out of Boston, getting $16,000 of rent, paying all his money for rent to the spring. But now we're doing it bigger and bolder than ever before because you, as a Purple Hawk, have made me very proud. And I love these success stories where people are getting money just this week, just since yesterday. So get a pen and paper ready. We're going to get that big money for rent, utilities, and food and internet, and we're starting right now. We're going to get rent, mortgage, utility assistance, and more, and we're going to start with the following introductory remarks. Number one, I'm going to show you 6 places to get money. So do not reach out to one and stop, because the first one I may likely say no. They have different eligibility, that they have their own pot of money. Number 2, every state has money. The federal government gave the same amount of money to every state based upon the number of citizens or residents you have. So there may not be money in a town that has 100 people, but if when you go up the food chain to the county and the state, it's there for you. Number 3, understand that, listen to those keywords I mentioned in this video because viewers tell me the keywords to say when you call up really help. And finally, don't insert new eligibility criteria. They're simply false. They don't give money to people in front of surfboards. Untrue. There's surfers that are getting money. Here we go. You're going to reach out to 6 places. You ready? Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. Your state hall, your state house authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. That's rent assistance because of COVID. Or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus, or Mitch's wonderful lobster ice cream. Oh, goodness, awful. You don't say those words. You don't want them to be having an upset stomach while giving you money. And there you go. Congratulations, Tim and Linda, who got this wonderful pot of money for rent. If you got money for rent, post a live chat right now. We're now turning to the next pot of money. It is the money for SNAP. Louis got $18,000, Mark $19,000, John got $10,000 to $12,000, and Lynn Glenn got it for herself and her son and her mom. What is SNAP? SNAP is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. It's easier to get than even a stimulus check. A family of 4 out of Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year now. But if you heard the breaking news live on air on Mornings LA here on this channel, you heard it when it happened. The President of the United States went to the Department of Agriculture on Monday saying, I'm not doing another executive order. My 15% is expired in September. You take care of this, you pay more money, and you pay lifetime. And they agreed to. And this is the breaking news. The Department of Agriculture on Monday made the major announcement that everyone's benefits are going up. Everyone's. So what are they going to be? Everyone's benefits will go up in October so that the average increase will be, on average, 25% more automatically, lifetime. Oh my goodness, I love those 3 words, automatically, lifetime, and 25%. And if you've had a success story for SNAP, post in the live chat right now, and we're killing it. We're only 13 minutes this video. We got more money coming back from your states right now. This is the refund check due to overpayment of unemployment benefits and a computer error. Reach out to the state and say, hi, state, where is that check due to overpayment of unemployment benefits? One viewer got $3,000, another viewer got $5,000 from it. And tell them to track it with a computer that actually works. Oh, sorry, sir. I was confused. I thought you were looking for scarves. Sirloin, is that you? Find out where Sirloin has been in the next few weeks. The big last pot of money is the money coming back from the federal government. This is the refund check of 2020 that you pay taxes on. This is the unemployment benefits check you pay taxes for on 2020 returns. IRS reports that the average waivable returnable check from IRS is about $1,200 to $1,400. But I had a nice viewer overnight telling me she got her refund check and it was over $2,000. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. Let's go over that more in a second, but here's a personal message to you. The spirit of this channel is me helping you and you helping others. So if you're on the live chat, make sure you post your success stories about the big sums of money or any sums of money you've gotten for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners assistance. When you do, you help other people. You help other people because a lot of people never thought of picking up the phone and calling for rent Or a lot of people never thought it pays this much money. And then a lot of people never heard of Snap, like Larry and Maui never heard of Snap till he found this channel, now getting $500 a month lifetime because of my recordings. A lot of people never thought of getting 3 items until Art Sullivan and Nisi got 3 items. I said, get the Triple Crown. And now you see all the people since last night got the Triple Crown. And then you realize the bigger numbers are coming in, bigger than we ever saw and approaching over $120,000. So get that big money and more about that later. But first, let's know more about that unemployment benefits. It's landed by direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah, 70% of the time you can. Go to iris.gov and do a transcript search, and it'll reveal the taxes you paid and the tax return you filed, and then the other 70% of the time, it'll reveal stuff you wish you'd never known. Like, really, what do they call this hairstyle? Oh boy. And then it'll reveal the refund check you're getting back from IRS. Can we top that? We can, as we go into the second half of your fourth stimulus check recon update, starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people under the fourth stimulus recon. This is the biggest payout you have ever seen on this channel. And why do I say deal done, and why do I say it's coming to you? Let me go over all the details starting right now. The first one is that the recon price tag was agreed upon before they started. The Democrat caucus had already agreed upon a $3.5 trillion price tag before they started. So the vote coming up next about the price, they've already agreed upon that before they started. Number 2, the recon is all checks for you. So it ain't checks for someone else. It's all checks for you. And while the first stimulus package is this big, second, third, this big, the fourth is this big. Prior stimulus packages, 80-90% for corporations. This one, all for you. And so there's a lot of money in there. There's also a lot of room to get a stimulus check in there as well. Let's go over how they got to this wonderful spot by taking roads and bridges out of the recon and putting it into the bipartisan. A conservative publication confirms my reporting. The higher the price tag was on the recon, the harder it was to pass. There you go. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon, roads and bridges, put it in the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable, and vice versa. Now, here's one of many things you'll only hear on this channel. The price tag of $3.5 trillion was agreed upon by the Democrats before they started this whole process. Democrats on both the House side and the Senate side and the president. So the vote next week, do you agree upon the price? They've already agreed upon the price. This is a no-brainer. And that's why Representative Richie Torres and Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrats and progressives, had said, we need bigger. Richie Torres, we need larger recon. Ilhan Omar, we need to have a recon that goes as far as we want it. You got it. $3.5 trillion. The president had told the progressives, protect my recon because everything in there is checks for the American people, says Jalapal and Brian Schatz. They consider the progressive priorities in there the White House's priorities. So what is a recon? What is a bipartisan? What is a recon procedural? What is a recon substantive? You need to know all this because next week it gets very exciting. Number 1, the President of the United States has made very clear to everyone that on his desk in the White House, you must send him both bodies of legislation to sign at the same time. Recon and also bipartisan. You can't send him one or he won't sign it. You have to send him both. So what is recon? What is bipartisan? Recon is your money. Bipartisan is not your money. Recon concerns the reconciliation of the budget bill, $3.5 trillion of checks across the board. This is also called the Democratic spending plan or the progressive spending plan. The recon is your money. Bipartisan, not your money. This is the roads and bridges, also called infrastructure, price tag $1.5 trillion. We have 3 bills to do: recon procedural, recon substantive, and bipartisan. So what's the difference between recon procedural and recon substantive? Let's go over all the details starting right now. Recon procedural only asks 2 very basic questions. Do you agree upon the price tag? I do. And do you agree that this committee will get $10 and that committee will get $20? I do. And that's all you're doing. Recon substantive is a little bit more. Recon substantive then says, okay, now that the committee got $10, how is that committee going to spend the $10? And that is where they go then. How do we get to this wonderful spot? We got to this wonderful spot from Jalapal, who wrote Schumer a letter recently saying, Chuck, call the vote on the recon. Call the vote on the recon. And that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of 100-plus House Democrats, who recently wrote the president a letter saying we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks to the forced stimulus package. Wow, Purple Power, you got to push. Can we top that? Yes. 7 members of the House Ways and Means Subcommittee recently wrote the president a letter saying they're going to be giving you monthly forced stimulus checks and a fifth stimulus check. The same subcommittee we just went over? Yes. You see, a lot of House and senators want you to have those monthly stimulus checks, and that's why you got to push, because they've been riding it, whether it's Warren and Sanders, or whether it's AOC or Omar or the House bill or the House Ways and Means Subcommittee we just went over. Finally, can we top that? We can. As Biden did it 7 weeks ago, or is it 8? I can't keep track now. He was overseas and he did a ceremonial signature today, 8 weeks ago. But the real signature was days later. It's for the global minimum corporate tax rate. What is that thing? You don't need to know. All you need to know is it's out of the recon. And that makes the recon easier to write, easier to call the vote on, and easier to pass the recon. Meantime, if you haven't gotten money for rent, utilities, food, or internet, I want you to get one item. Before you reach out to the community page, I want you to get one item. Why? Because when we go into forced stimulus, it's going to be just like first, second, and third stimulus. First, second, and third stimulus were all application-based, meaning that if you wanted the money, you had to pick up the phone. PEBT, if you wanted the increase, you had to pick up the phone. PPP, you had to go to a website. Or PUA, you had to pick up the phone or go to a website. Or EIDL, you had to go to a website. You had to pick up the phone and literally do something, then hold that donut. And what's going to be the case under forced stimulus is most of the money under that $3.5 trillion will be application-based. But the great news, it's insanely great news, is the reason why I make these recordings is to inform you, train you, and get ready to pounce. Because if you've called up if you've called up your electric department and got $100 taken off your bill because of the pandemic, you're done. If you call up the water department and got $200 refund because of the pandemic, you're done. You have used the skills I've shown on this channel to pick up the phone and get that big money for rent, utilities, and food. Here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back in 60 seconds as Evenings LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LA, direct from Santa Monica, as we go into the final 15 minutes of this video. Steny Hoyer calling his Democratic caucus back into session this Monday. What are those Democrats doing, and what are they doing on the House side? Meantime, the Purple Hawks are ready to pounce, and we go over the big sums of money that are available under forced stimulus. As we go into a big evening, there is a lot of money heating up, and we have all the details across the board. We'll also go over fifth stimulus as well. But with that, thank you for joining me as we go into the final 15 minutes of this big new Evenings LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video to 3,000 likes and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto. This video will automatically take you in there, and I know the YouTube alert system is still down. So let's go over again that schedule coming up tonight. 7 o'clock is Street and Stimulus. Then we have a show every hour on the hour. 7 o'clock is a show. 8 o'clock is Sirloin. 9 o'clock is then Overnight's LALATE. And then 11:30 is Purple. So with that, let's go over all of the details, including the big lift of your benefits if you are on SSI and SSDI starting right now. The President of the United States promised this during his campaign trail to raise your benefits, and he did not take care of it. So now the Democrats are vowing to take care of it in fifth stimulus. This is in September. They start drafting this, then out the door for a vote in November, hitting your bank account thereafter. Let's go over all the details. Step 1, they'll raise your benefit limits up. Then step 2, they'll remove the asset limit. Add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over who this is for. It's for you. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, or SSA. First step, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. That benchmark will be inflation. And inflation will be transitory. What does that mean? A temporary spike in December. Yes, right when they apply your benefits. It's great news. How high is that spike going to be? I say it's going to be about 5%. Oh my goodness. So first they're going to raise your benefits up, then they'll apply the benchmark. And if it's 5%, that means your benefits will go up another 5%. Not just next year, but lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. They're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 on hand. Now you'll be able to have some muddled. Did you just call this muddled? How dare you? Now they'll be able to have some stimulus checks in your hand and nothing muddled. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And marriage penalty is going to go away. And you'll be able to do a pair dance at your own wedding like Rob and Sandy. You'll no longer fear loss of benefits, and you will be happy as can be. Finally, will the Democrats be giving you a fifth stimulus check? They represent they are. That would be next year. It would not overlap with fourth stimulus whatsoever. And finally, how about those Purple Hawks? Boy, if you're in the live chat and you have not become a Purple Hawk and you notice people that have that Purple Hawk emoji, what are you doing? Go under this video and click the link where it says join here and become a Purple Hawk. Purple Hawks is delivered daily from me via the YouTube community page, a breakdown of all the big money that members should know under first stimulus, second stimulus, third stimulus, and what's proposed under fourth and fifth stimulus. When you get this information, then you learn the big money that you can get across the board, and viewers are really cleaning up. You're seeing these numbers, $27,000, $50,000, $100,000. People are getting massive sums of this channel because they understand how to stay focused, number one. When second stimulus was passed, $600 stimulus checks will not come in December. It just wasn't there. So I told people before I had launched Purple Hawks, here's the money for rent. Get it. And they got it, $250,000. Then when I launched Purple Hawks in January, I said, $1,400 stimulus check. Sure. It's going to come automatic. Don't be focused on it. Focus on the $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 money right now. Not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now. Money available under third stimulus. And I said I can get you a lot more than $14,000. Now you see people getting $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 daily. Those viewers getting these big sums of money. And that is why people always ask me, why are there third stimulus videos on this channel? Because third stimulus is still paying money. You don't pass a stimulus package and just go to the next stimulus package. It doesn't make sense. You pass one and then you get every penny you can from it before you go to the next. People just sort of say, I get a stimulus check, I'm done with the stimulus package. No, there's all this other money to get in there. Because the fourth one is not law yet. And I'm so excited for all of you that have been getting this big sums of money. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people under the fourth stimulus recon. Let me go over all this details, starting right now. Number one, why do I say deal done? Because there's $3.5 trillion and it's checks for you, and both those things have already been agreed upon before the Democrats even started. First, the Democrats already agreed upon the price tag of $3.5 trillion before they started the process. So the fact that they have a vote this coming Monday about a price tag they already agreed upon is much of nothing. Number two, they've already agreed the $3.5 trillion will be spent on the American people. So that is also a done deal. So the only thing that's really left discussing is how they're spending the $3.5 trillion. Now, first stimulus this big, second stimulus this big, third this big, fourth this big. A lot of room to put stimulus checks in there. But of the $3.5 trillion, the remainder, mostly application-based. And if you've been with me since day one of this channel, you've been picking up the phone and calling, getting money. You've been getting money, whether it was PBT, getting that raise of your benefits up, or whether it was getting EIDL or PPP or PUA. You've been doing this since day one, so you can do this again. Let's go over all the details of the big money that is in this 3.5 trillion starting right now. While we don't have the bill, we have some of the proposals. And here we go. Checks of all kinds for all of my viewers. Free school meals for all checks, tax-paid checks, cheaper prescription medication checks. Then we have farmers checks, free internet checks. Then we have checks for hearing care, checks for vision, checks for dental. Then we have checks for workers, checks for independent contractors, and more. I love the Purple Hawks. They're sending me messages daily saying, how do I get that money? How do I apply for that money? Not law yet, but I love that viewers are ready to apply. Now, let's go over the voting process and stuff you're only going to hear on this channel, which starts with Steny Hoyer's comments. Steny Hoyer made 3 comments, and I think the third one is the one that I say OMG about. Let me show you his 3 comments. Comment number 1 is get back to town House members starting Monday, the 23rd. Comment number 2, we're going to vote starting at 6 o'clock on Monday. Comment number 3, you're going to be staying in town till we're done. Steny Hoyer is the majority leader in the House. And why do I think the third comment is the big one? Because when he says stay in town till we're done with what? I see what he's saying. Let me go over the details. The recon procedural vote is set for Monday, but that is a blink of an eye. It's done in 10 seconds. They've already agreed upon the price tag. The recon procedural vote, let's go over that again, only ask how much is the total price tag, 3.5 trillion, and how much for a particular committee. They already agreed upon this before they started. So this does not require them to stay in town until we're done. What does that language refer to? It can only refer to one thing, recon substantive. And guess what? Here is where Purple Hawks will be able to pounce because they've been understanding the details of this channel. They can't start the recon substantive if it's coming from the Senate side because the Senate's not in session. So the only way they could still be in town and working on stuff is if the House starts the recon substantive. There you go. Senate's not in town, and Steny Hoyer says stay in town till we're done. Done with what? You're going to start with the recon substantive, aren't you? There was a lot of reports about that over 2 weeks ago before Hoyer's comments. Procedural went Senate-House. This one is likely to go House-Senate. Why do I love it starting going House-Senate? I'll tell you why. It gives you more money. Here's the details. House subcommittees are the ones that write the legislation. Let's say, for example, House Ways and Means, they're responsible for stimulus checks on unemployment benefits. Then, when they call things for a vote, House members just pay more money than senators. They always do. Third, House members are more progressive than Senate Democrats. They pay more money as well. And finally, I like starting on the House side because they could spend more money on you, and then the senators can do the 2-day vote-a-rama on top of that. So it all makes so much more sense to start on the House side. Moreover, if you look at this calendar, this makes a lot of sense. The Senate did the recon procedural while the House was gone, then finished it. Now the House is coming back to finish the recon procedural, and the Senate's gone. Well, what would the House do next? Obviously, the recon substantive. And when they're done, they send it to the Senate, which will be back by then. There you go. So what do we need to know about that recon substantive? Well, we need to push, because ultimately, when we're talking about recon substantive, we're talking about now that a committee has $10 and you're going to spend the money on the American people, you got to ensure that they spend the money the right way. And that is why I brought back Seats for Stimulus. Seats for Stimulus refers to pushing these legislators to make sure they spend the money the right way. Seats for Stimulus was a campaign I started on social media in 2020, which basically says, you do not give us the right stimulus, we're taking your seats. Hashtag Seats for Stimulus. Take these videos and tag your elected officials on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram with the hashtag Seats for Stimulus. You've been doing a good job, but I got to tell you, I need to see it a lot more. I see maybe 2 or 3 or 4 people doing the vast majority of the tweeting, and then a couple people helping them. But this channel does hundreds of thousands of views a day, and I am not seeing that in people on social media. So you cannot be sitting back and being Donetta or Donetto on this. You have a benefit here, which is that the House seats are the ones that are up for grabs in just a few days, in just a few weeks. Those House seats are where, if this bill starts doing recon substantive on the House side, you have a big help here, because the push would be against the people who actually are doing the substances first. Do not be a donetta and just sort of say, I'll just wait to see what lands in my bank account. No, because they may spend the money the wrong way. No one wants to see money spent the wrong way. They want to see it spent the right way. As people got a fortune under third stimulus, we want to make sure they spend the money the right way again, so that we get that money across the board. Then let's go back to why it's important to understand that Purple Hawks are going to do very well under fourth stimulus. You do very well if you've ever picked up the phone and gotten $100 off your utility bill because of the pandemic. PBT, you had to pick up the phone. PPP, you had to pick up the phone or go to a website. PUA, either phone or website. EIDL website. If you've done this before and you've gotten a penny from this channel, then you are going to do really well under fourth stimulus. Why? Because fourth stimulus is not the U.S. Treasury sending out checks. U.S. Treasury doesn't send out a check to you for your teeth. U.S. Treasury doesn't send out a check to you for internet. Rather, you go to a commission, a part of the U.S. government, to get the money for that internet. You go to a part of the government to get that money for the teeth. And ultimately, that is what Purple Hawks are going to be able to pounce with, because I'm going to show you, here is where that money is. This is where you get the money from. Not difficult whatsoever. This is where Purple Hawks do well, and Donettas don't get anything, because application base is where you pounce and get big sums of money. Finally, let's go over some of the details of what to anticipate for the rest of the night before some closing remarks. After this show, you'll be sent right into Overnight's Crypto. Then at 7 o'clock is Street and Stimulus. At 8 o'clock is Sirloin with Javita LALATE back in the mix. Then after that is Overnight's LA at 9 o'clock. Purple is at 11:30. I'm back tomorrow morning with a full slate schedule, the same schedule every day. 3 a.m. is Overnights on this channel. Then 3:30 is Street and Stimulus. 4 a.m. is the new Early Mornings LA. Then 9 a.m. Mornings LA live. And then Crypto live. And then noontime live. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board. Finally, a personal message. I'm very, very excited for how viewers have done so well under third stimulus in recent days. You know, keep on sending me those private messages on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram saying, I got this and I got that. You know why this is great news? Because people realize fourth stimulus check is not going to come in my hand on Monday. It's not going to come in my hand on Tuesday. Fourth stimulus check money is not going to come in my hand this week. And guess what? Third stimulus will, if I pick up the phone. Rent, utilities, food, internet. People are getting this hourly, daily from this channel. People are picking the phone up and within 2-3 days getting $5, $10, $15, $20,000 in just a few days. Mark's neighbor, $20,000 in just a few days. Mark, $19,000 for Snap just in a few days. And now will be $25,000 under the new Snap increase of 25%. So you need to push as a Purple Hawk and pick up that phone and get that big money under third stimulus. Meantime, disabled students will now have their student loan debt forgiven. The federal government announced late in the week that student loans for disabled Americans is now forgiven. Will full student loan debt forgiveness be done? We will see. It currently is on moratorium, meaning you don't have to repay it until January. They extended that as well. A lot of big changes in the last few days. The eviction moratorium extended. What will happen with the other question marks? Lots of questions I see all throughout the day. People asking about, what about unemployment benefits? Will they get extended? I don't know. Here's one question I do have an answer for. I've seen a couple people ask in the last 48 hours, will the recon be held up because of the events in Afghanistan? Not true. Not at all. Nothing to worry about. Why? Because Afghanistan is not something that Congress deals with. They deal with domestic policy. They don't deal with foreign policy. That's what the federal government, that is what the presidency does. The executive branch, the president, the vice president. Congress deals with things that are happening here in the United States. So what are they going to do? What they need to do, take care of you. And in fact, they have to take care of you. Why? Because 6 seats of theirs are up for grabs in November. And they have to. Otherwise, then they lose their seats. Meantime, join me next as Overnight Crypto heats up. I look forward to seeing you on that big show coming up next. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Oh, wait, stop the music. I forgot to tell you that stay on this video. Within 6 seconds after this video is over, it'll take you into Overnight Crypto. All right, cue the music. And subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Block, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LALATE for more.